I think the lighting's going to be a little bit funny for this video, but I have 102 books on my digital TBR, which is like 50 to 70 books less than what I had at the beginning of this year. And what I want to do is I want to go through and make sure I'm still really interested in all of these books. I still want them on my digital TBR. I'm still interested in reading them, and whittle that down. And then that's going to be my like TBR checklist for 2025. I think I had well over 150 this year and I didn't quite make it. I've still got about 15 left. So I'm excited to whittle this down. I think that's a better number. So you're going to come with me. I'm going to have my phone screen filming here. Let's just give it some more room. There we go. And we're going to talk about what I want on my list. So let's filter my story graph to earliest added, because it's probably the ones from ages ago that I'm not so interested about seeing. So Sorrowland, first of all, I don't remember what this is about. I think this is going to make me cry. Oh no. I mean, yeah, that's still going to make me cry. Still interested in Sorrowland. Binding of Blue Mountain. That had a cover. Where did the cover go? I think this is a portal fantasy. Yeah, monsters and gods live alongside humans. Every family has magic in their blood, but a curse festers on the slope of Blue Mountain. Yeah, I still want to read this. This was on my list for this year. Definitely. Starter Villain, I own a copy, so that's fine. I definitely still want to read To Shape a Dragon's Breath. What we're going to do is I'm going to come out with 25 books that I want to read in 2025 as like an absolute definite must. And To Shape a Dragon's Breath is 100% going to be on there. Just like, no questions about it. Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping, yes. Bird King, that was on my list for this year. I don't remember what it's about. Concubine in the Royal Court of Granada, last emirate of Muslim Spain, and her dearest friend Hassan, a palace map maker. This rings a bell. He can draw maps of places he's never seen and bend the shape of reality. Yes, I still want to read this. I feel like that might have to go at the top of my list for 2025, given that I didn't get around to it this year. Because that's not good enough, me. That's not good enough. Helm of Midnight, 100%. That is a heist where they accidentally steal a cursed object from a museum and they've got to get it back, I think. The Water Outlaws, I don't know if I'm actually that into it. No, I am not interested in reading that anymore. The Water Outlaws is off. Undetectables, I'm unsure. Okay, yeah. This is the one with the fantastic tagline, be gay, sell crime, take naps. Witty and quirky fantasy murder mystery in a folkloric world of witches, fairies, vampires, trolls and ghosts. I can't take that off. Like, I cannot legally take that off my list. I'm Afraid You Got Dragons. Yes, it's about dragons. Secrets of the Dead. Cannot remember what this one's about. This is also on my list for this year that I've just never gotten around to. Oh, when an explosion kills all the royal families in the kingdom of Novicia, 4 unlikely heirs are forced to take their parents' place. Naive and inexperienced, the rulers must not only learn to lead their realms but grapple with their newly heightened powers. Nope. I didn't get around to it this year. I don't care. Salt Grows Heavy. Yes, I want to read that. I own a copy now. Down the Drain by Julia Fox. Like, yes, I want to read it, but I don't want to read it so bad that I'm going to prioritise it over anything else. So I'm going to take this off my list for the moment. But if it like popped up on Everand or something as like available, I would probably put it on my like save books there for something if I needed to listen to an audiobook. Hills by Nicola Griffith. Fun fact, my mother has published one of Nicola Griffith's books. It's not this one, but I think she beta read this, which is why it's on my list. Do I actually want to read it? Is it actually something I will enjoy? It's Middle Ages, which I don't always get along with. Hild establishes a place for herself at her uncle's side as the king's seer. You know what? I don't think this is for me. I think this will be for other people, but it's not something that I want to prioritise at this moment in time. Chain Gang All Stars. I've heard nothing but good things. I'm also not loving short stories at the moment. Oh, it's a novel. I thought this was short stories. What? Oh, this is like death matches. No, you know what? No. I do not care for like Hunger Games type deathmatchy things. Not my bag. The Reformatory. This is going to be top of that list for 2025. This has been on my list for so long. I've had the ebook on Everand available to me. I've just never picked it up. I know it's going to make me really sad, which is why I think I've been putting it off, but I need to read this book. Graveyard Shift. I own it, so it's gonna be read. Starless Sea. I now own it, so it's gonna get read. Only for the Week. Don't remember what this is. What is this about? Okay, wedding. Some of you may know me as the sister of the bride. Some of you may know me as the ex-girlfriend of the groom, but I'm willing to bet none of you know me as the woman secretly sleeping with the best man. I am. I know. I'm just as surprised as you. Nope. That sounds like romance and looks like romance as well. Like heavy, and that's no. The Age of Magic by Ben Okri. Don't remember what this is. A tightly knit group of filmmakers travel from Paris together to make a documentary. Unknown to themselves, they carry a lot of unwanted baggage, fear, anger, jealousy, love. When they arrive in an idyllic Swiss village ringed by mountains reflected on a lake, they discover a haunted world that will compel them to confront demons they've been trying to escape. You know what? That is a whole lot of nothing, and I don't want to read it. Kraken, which I think I only put on here because it's got a cool name. Billy Harrow, a cephalopod specialist, is conducting a tour whose climax is meant to be the centre's prize specimen of rare Latin name that I can't pronounce, better known as the giant squid. But Billy's tour takes an unexpected turn when the squid suddenly and impossibly vanishes into thin air. Okay. As Billy soon discovers, this is a precipitating act in the struggle to the death between the mysterious and powerful forces in a London whose existence has been blissfully ignorant of until now, a city whose denizens, human or otherwise, are adept in magic and murder. There is a congregation of god kraken, a sect of squid. Okay, you have me at squid worshippers. I've got to give that one a go. That's fine. Gods of Jade and Shadow by Sylvia Moreno Garcia. I liked Mexican Gothic, that is all that I've read. Jazz Age, yes. Cassia Pearton is too busy cleaning the floors of her wealthy grandfather's house to listen to any fast tunes. Nevertheless, she dreams of a life far from her dusty small town in southern Mexico, a life she can call her own. Yet the new life seems as distant as the stars until one day she finds a curious wooden box in her grandfather's room. She opens it and accidentally frees the spirit of the Mayan god of death, as you do, who requests her help in recovering his throne from a treacherous brother. In the company of the strangely alluring god... No, for some people, I'm sure this would be amazing. That's not for me. The Formidable Miss Cassidy. I do not remember what this is about. Ooh, 1890s Singapore. The formidable Miss Leda Cassidy arrives as a paid companion to Sarah Jane Bendemeer, whose family suffers under the thrall of Southeast Asia's most terrifying Hantu. But there's more to Miss Cassidy than meets the eye, and she's faced down worse in her life than a Pontianak. However, she may have met her match in the indefatigable businessman. What is with the tongue twisters in these blurbs? Mr. K. Wing Tong, whose large and constantly growing family clearly requires female supervision, especially of the particular kind Miss Cassidy can provide. I'm not sold on this one. What's the rating like? Okay, it's a relatively high rating with 3.90 stars. We'll leave it on there. The worst I can do is DNF it. Crane husband, I don't remember. Is this when her husband literally just turns into a crane? Oh, yeah. The mum brings home lots of different men, and then one day she brings home a crane. No, I don't think I'm going to enjoy that. I think this is the lady that wrote When Women Were Dragons, which I did enjoy, but I'm not as interested in cranes as I am in dragons, so I don't think this is going to have the same appeal. Mageborn, Age of Dread. It's not got a great rating. Habriel believes eradicating magic is the only way to ensure lasting peace. He will do anything to achieve his goal, even if it means murdering every child born with magical ability. No! Also, that's a really unfortunate last name, my dude. I don't know if that's your real last name. But no. Why is that on there? So let them burn. Young adult. You know what? No. I'm not doing that to myself. No young adult on this list. Last Murder at the End of the World. Yes. Cannot remember what it's about. I think it's a locked room mystery, but it's an island instead of a room. And I've heard good things from people that I know read good books. Master of Sorrows. Couldn't tell you when I put this on there. You've heard the story before of a young boy orphaned through tragic circumstances, raised by a wise old man who comes to a fuller knowledge of his magic and uses it to fight the great evil that threatens his world. But what if the boy hero and the malevolent, threatening taint were one and the same? What if the boy slowly came to realise he was the reincarnation of an evil god? Would he save the world or destroy it? No, I don't care. I am slowly coming to the conclusion that I don't like books like that are big and epic and sprawling, and I don't care. You've got to have a really specific set of criteria in your book for me to want to read it if it's like that. So no. Secrets of Hartwood Hall. Currently that's a yes. I've just started The Trouble with Mrs. Montgomery Hurst. And so far I quite like the writing, but that's going to stay on there for now. Archangels of Funk. Yes, I know I want to read that. Like Seekers. Oh, a respected Nigerian psychologist travels to a remote southern border town to uncover the truth about the murder of 3 university students. When Dr. Philip Taiwo is called on by a powerful Nigerian politician to investigate the public torture and murder of 3 university students in Port Harcourt, he has no idea that he's about to be enveloped in a perilous case that is far from cold. Philip is not a detective, he's an investigative psychologist, an academic more interested in figuring out the why of a crime rather than actually solving it. But when he steps off the plane and into the dizzying frenzy of the provincial airport, he soon realises that the mob-driven murder of the Okriki 3 isn't as straightforward as he thought. That's staying on the list. That sounds great. There's 2 in the series. Lovely. Right, Principle of Moments. I've heard lots of good things. I thought this was YA. 6066. In Emperor Thracian's brave new galaxy, humans are not citizens but indentured labourers, working to repay the debt they unwittingly incurred when they settled on Garan, a desert planet already owned by the Emperor himself. Asha Akindele knows she's just another voiceless cog working in the assembly lines that fuel his vast imperial war machine. Her only rebellion, studying stolen aeronautics manuals in the dead of night. No. Oh, and there's time travelling. No, I'm sorry. That just doesn't sound like I'm going to enjoy it. I have heard people say lots of good things though, so if that's the sort of thing you like, then please do give it a go. Deadly storms have ravished Mina's homeland for generations. Floods sweep away entire villages while bloody wars are waged over the few remaining resources. Her people believe the sea god, once their protector, now curses them with death and despair. In an attempt to appease him, each year a beautiful maiden is thrown into the sea. Of course they are! To serve as the sea god's bride in hopes that one day the true bride will be chosen and end the suffering. Her sister might be the true bride. She follows her sister instead. Oh, she Hunger Games her sister. Yeah, she swept out. And you know what? No. Oh, and it's young adult. I missed that. No, thank you. The Cleaving by Julia E. McKenna. I know it's Arthurian and it focuses on the women in Arthurian history. So yes. Rakesfall has been on there for ages. Why haven't I picked that up? Standalone science fiction epic. How long is it? It's only 300 pages. Or is it time again? No. Why is romance not on there? Because it's talking about how 2 souls are like travelling through endless lifetimes. It's a virtuosic exploration of what stories can be. Nope, that's not something I'm going to enjoy. Beekeeper's Apprentice. This is something that I think Mara from Books Like Woe said that she enjoyed at one point, which is why it's on here. Long retired, Sherlock Holmes quietly pursues his study of honeybee behaviour on the Sussex Downs. He never imagines he would encounter anyone whose intellect matched his own, much less an audacious teenage girl with a penchant for detection. Miss Mary Russell becomes Holmes's pupil and quickly hones her talent for deduction, disguises and danger. When an elusive villain enters the picture, their partnership is put to a real test. This is going to be really hit or miss, I think, because yes, absolutely, we love female detective apprentice to Sherlock Holmes. That in itself as a concept, I'm here for. It does have the potential to be really irritating if Sherlock Holmes isn't written right. So it's staying on there for now, but I would say it's probably I wouldn't be surprised if I DNF'd it at some point. What is How to Say Babylon? I think I know How to Say Babylon. Ooh. How to Say Babylon is a stunning story of an author's struggle to break free of her rigid Rastafarian upbringing, ruled by her father's strict patriarchal views and repressive control of her childhood, to find her own voice as a woman and a poet. Oh, it's a memoir. Yeah, I like that kind of thing, especially if it's a proper memoir. That can stay on there. Portrait of a Thief. Okay, some art students are hired to steal priceless sculptures. Yep, that can stay on there. Don't know what this one is. Okay, still house late. Shy Midwestern housewife with a happy marriage, 2 adorable children. Car accident reveals her husband's a serial killer. She must remake herself as Gwen Proctor, the ultimate warrior mum. Okay, yeah, we'll give that a go. Okay, Blood of the Old Kings has just come out, I think, and lots of people have loved it. There is no escaping the Empire, even in death you will serve. Ooh, Empire run on necromancy. I didn't realise this was a necromancer book. Yeah, let's give that one a go. That's fine. A Feather So Black. Romantic fantasy. Oh, but it's changelings. No, you know what? Even if it is changelings, no, I'm not going to do that. Born by Jeff Vandermeer. This I put on here because Murphy really likes Jeff Vandermeer, but I don't know if I will really enjoy Jeff Vandermeer. Hello, buddy. No, I don't want to read that. That's not going to be enjoyable. Severance, Lingmar. Why is that on there? Dystopian? No, I don't know. I don't know why that's on there. Maybe that was from, no, I don't know why that's on there. That's coming off. Family business. When Dia Berman's best friend Angie dies, it feels like her own life is falling apart. Wanting a fresh start, she joins Slough & Sons, a family firm that cleans up after the recently deceased. Okay, old love letters, porcelain dolls. Yeah, you know what? Yeah. That can stay on there. That's about crime scene cleaners. Sea of Tranquility. Science fiction? Okay. It's a pandemic novel. No. Why is this on here? Sometimes I put stuff on here that I think, oh yeah, I'll give that a go. Maybe I'll like it. And I just, if I thought about it for 3 more seconds, I would have not put it on here because I know I wouldn't like it. Dungeon Crawler Carl can stay on there. Oh, okay. Assassin by Andy Peloquin. I have come to the conclusion I don't like books like that, so I'm just going to take that off. Travellers Along the Way. Oh no, this was okay. Oh, it's YA. No, we're not doing that. This is not to say I won't ever read another YA again, but they have been consistently disappointing me this year, so there's just easier to not have them on there. Black Tongue Thief, I now own a copy of. The Waning. What is that about? Mira is one of the 5 women who each hold a part of the defeated goddess of death and chaos within them. When the group's high priestess is murdered, Mira and her 3 remaining spirit sisters must undergo the Waning ceremony for the 2nd time. Only one of them will be chosen to serve as a vessel for the goddess again. She will become high priestess and the mother of witches. The other 3 will die trying. No. Slug and Other Stories. Yes. Emily Tesh, yes, I really do want to read that because I've read Silver in the Wood and Drowned Country and they were brilliant. Refused to be Done, how to rewrite a novel in 3 somethings. Sure, I should probably read some more like writing books. Some Desperate Glory, Emily Tesh. Yes, I want to read more of what she's done. The Maid and the Crocodile, a romantic. It's romance and young adult. No. What was I thinking? Dragon Fruit. Well, it looks amazing. Can I zoom in on that cover? That cover looks incredible, but it's romance and young adult, and I'm just not going to enjoy that. I'm now at 78 books instead of 102. Modern Divination, I think, did we skip that before? I have an arc of that. I didn't realise it had come out in 2023, and then they're republishing it with new bits with another publisher or something, but I have the arc of that one, so I will be reading that. Okay, they've added in a whole load of other books here. It's God Shuffled, The Autumn of the Patriarch. This is so unbelievably vague that that's going to be, especially as it's 1975, that's not going to be enjoyable. 100,000 Kingdoms, N.K. Jemisin. I tried the Broken Earth trilogy and didn't get along with it, so I would really like to try the other series that they've written. Thick with Trouble. That looks like a novella. What? Is this I don't know what this is. In Thick with Trouble, award-winning poet Amber McBride interrogates if being trouble, difficult, unruly, fierce and defiant, is ultimately a weakness or an incomparable source of strength. Steeped in the hoodoo spiritual tradition and organised via reimagined tarot cards, this collection becomes a chorus of... yeah, that can stay on there. Blood Over Brighthaven, I think I now own a copy that's staying on there. We've covered some of these. The Change, Kirsten Miller. Big Little Lies meets The Witches of Eastwick. Yep, I like both of those things. River Mama, Quarter Life Crisis. Alicia has been out of grad school for 6 months. She has no career prospects and lives with her mum, who won't stop texting her macabre nude stories and reminders to pick up items from the grocery store. Then one evening, the Jamaican water deity, River Mama, appears to Alicia, telling her that she has 24 hours to scour the city for her missing comb. I don't think I'm going to enjoy that one. Black Tudors, The Untold Story. I do want to read that. I have it bookmarked on Everand. Song of the Huntress, I own. Pet, A Quaking Mersey. I know I want to read that. Well, I was young adult. I have Little Rot on my list, so I'm going to stick with Little Rot and see how I get on with that. I've asked for it for Christmas. Sorcerer to the Crown. Ooh, historical fantasy. At his wit's end, Zacharias Wythe, freed slave, eminently proficient magician and sorcerer royal of the Unnatural Philosophers, one of the most respected organisations throughout all of Britain, ventures to the border of Fairyland. Yep. That's all you have to tell me. Infinity Alchemist, a spellbinding novel about a quest that leads 3 young alchemists towards the unexpected love and unimaginable power. Young adults. Nope. Done that one, done that one, done that one. Ooh, Shigidi and the Brass Head of Obuluphon. Mythic tale of disgruntled gods, revenge, and a heist across two worlds. Perfect for fans of Nnedi Okorafor, Neil Gaiman, Marlon James, and Karen Lord. I like Nnedi Okorafor. I like some of what Neil Gaiman has written. I didn't like Marlon James, and I didn't love Karen Lord. We're going to leave that on here, and we're going to see how I get on with it. No one dies yet. Thriller, 2019. It's been exactly 400 years since the first slave ships left Ghana for America, and Ghana has opened its doors for black diasporans to come and know the land of their ancestors. Elton, Vincent and Scott arrived from America to visit preserved sites from the transatlantic slave route and to explore the country's underground queer scene. Their activities are narrated by their two combative guides, Kobe, their liaison with Accra's privilege circles, and Nana, the voice of tradition and religious principle. The two's tense relationship set the tone for what becomes a shocking and unsettling tale of murder that is at times funny, erotic, and always outspoken and iconoclastic. That sounds really good. We don't get taught a lot about the transatlantic slave trade in Britain. Like, that's just not one of the big topics that comes up a lot in school. But I have slowly learned that is obviously something people in America learn a lot about. So I think it would be cool to learn a little bit more about that. Sisters of the Lost Nation. Yes, I do want to read that. Can't remember why I want to read it, but I remember wanting to read it. Freak's Law. Yes, that is like carnival horror. Little Rock. Yes, I've asked for it for Christmas. Unnatural Causes. That was a memoir of someone who does autopsies. What's the word for people that do autopsies? Ratty is chucking stuff off my desk. Medical examiner. That I want to stick to. The Third Policeman. Brilliantly dark comic novel about the nature of time, death, and existence. Told by a narrator who has committed a botched robbery and brutal murder, the novel follows him and his adventures in a two-dimensional police station where, through the theories of the scientist/philosopher De Selby, he is introduced to atomic theory and its relation to bicycles. No, you've lost me. Sorry, that's not staying on there. Woodworm. I remember Sid talking about this book. Grandmother and granddaughter live together uneasily in a house haunted by sombras. Shadows of the Dead. When the granddaughter is accused of a terrible crime, Martinez mixes horror and folklore to tell a story of class, rural tradition, and historical wounds and revenge. Yes, that sounds good. Slug, yes. Tesh, yes. Miss Percy's Pocket Guide to the Care and Feeding of British Dragons. That I found this in as a recommendation because I liked The Natural History of Dragons by Marie Brennan. So that's staying on there. Tea Dragon Society. Yes, that just looks cool. Hobbity Dick, 1955. A hobgoblin is charged with the protection of an unloving Puritan family who come to live at an English manor in 1652. Yes, I have to read that. I remember putting that on there. The Builders by Daniel Polanski. A missing eye, a broken wing, a stolen country. The last job didn't end well. Years go by and scars fade, but memories only fester. For the animals of the captain's company, survival has meant keeping a low profile, building a new life, and trying to forget the war they lost. But now the captain's whiskers are twitching at the idea of evening the score. I remember this was described as like Brian Jack, but for adults. So we're going to keep that on there just in case. Brog the Stoop is a children's book that I've only put on there because Brian Froud illustrated the cover. Sorry, not sorry. Hounds of the Morrigan, 1985. A wonderfully written... Okay, this is young adult, but it is from 1985, so I'm assuming it won't fall into the tropes of young adult written today. A wonderfully written fantasy set in the west of Ireland, which tells of the coming of the Great Queen, who is bent on bringing destruction to the world. Only Pidge and Bridget can stop her, and their task seems impossible as they're constantly trailed by the Queen's hounds. But they're aided in their quest by a host of willing helpers, a glorious array of unforgettable characters. That still sounds real good. Grey Dog, published this year. Hello, Cat. A subversive literary horror novel that disrupts the tropes of women's historical fiction with delusions, wild beasts, and uncontainable power of female rage. Yeah, fuck it, that sounds alright. How many have we got left? My Throat, An Open Grave, that's young adult. Nope. The Witch Roads by Kate Elliott. When an arrogant prince and his equally arrogant entourage get stuck in UNHAUL as part of a brutal political intrigue, competent and sunny Deputy Courier Ellen wants a child slave. No, you've lost me. Sorrow Spring. Chilling and uncanny folk suspense of a novel. Oh my god, words. Chilling and uncanny folk suspense in a novel of twisted sisterhood and dark secrets. Some places are cursed. Isolated village, twisted sisterhood. Blah blah blah. Abandoned by her mother in the isolated hippie village of Sorrow Spring. Forced to live with an elderly aunt. No, you've lost me. A Marvellous Light. What's that about? Oh, it's romance. No, thank you. I know what I like. Oh, The Buffalo Hunter. A chilling historical horror novel set in the American West in 1912, following a Lutheran priest who transcribes the life of a vampire who haunts in the fields of Blackfeet Reservoir. Yeah, that can stay on there. I don't need to look at that twice. The Chatelaine. It's horror, set in Bruges. Ooh. In 1328, the city of Bruges is under siege from the Chatelaine of Hell and her army of chimeras. I don't need to read further on than that. I would like the cover to be reimagined because that doesn't look anywhere near as interesting as that blurb is. Green Teeth, yes, that's staying on there. Firelight Apprentice, yes, that's staying on there because it's Brie Paulson. Drop of Correction, yes, it's staying on there because Tainted Cup was fantastic. Rightful, don't know what that is. What's that? It's been mostly a quiet life since Robin Hood put aside his pregnant wife Marian, turned his back on his merry men, his former life, and retreated to a monastery to repent his sins. No. I think I remember putting this one on here and no. Just the phrase, put aside his pregnant wife? No. Major Domo, a novella that is literally a 3-sentence blurb, a plucky underdog, a powerful necromancer, and the idiot heroes bent on killing them. Sure, that can stay on there. It's only 100 pages long. Geneva by Richard Armitage. I didn't know he'd written a book, so we're going to try that for the hell of it. Bad Feminist because I should, and then Bogwife because it's called The Bogwife. That is a solid TBR for 2025. How many books is that? 68 books. I can do that. I can do that in about 6 months if I wanted to. Perfect. Amazing. I'm happy with that. It is incredibly difficult to get waterproof eyeliner off your waterline. So I look like I'm hungover today, and I'm not. Not even a little bit. But there we go. I have scrubbed at it 3 times since last night. So, having done that TBR cull, I have come up with 12 books rather than 25 that I really want to read in 2025. These are books that have been on my TBR for ages, or I'm really, really excited for, or they've just been like floating around in my vicinity for a while, and I just want to read them. I just want to give them a go. So, the books are, let me give you some space. The Reformatory by Tanana Reeve Dew. This has been on my TBR for years. It will make me cry. I feel like I'm mentally prepared. I just need to do it. I just need to dive in. To Shape a Dragon's Breath. I have started this one once and decided that I didn't like the audiobook and it wasn't quite the right time for me to read it. So I'm going to come back to it and we're going to read it. The Helm of Midnight. This has been floating around on my digital TBR for 2 years now. And every time I forget what it's about and every time I read the blurb, I go, oh my God, why haven't I read that yet? So it's going on this list. The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern. I'm not 100% convinced I'm going to enjoy this one, but lots of people say lots of good things. It's portal fantasy in a library with something to do with books. That could be very good. It could be very good for me. So we're going to give it a go. Then we've got Dungeon Crawler Carl, just to have something a bit ridiculous on this list to mix it up. I've got Freak's Law because the cover is just cool. I can't remember what it's about. I think it's like horror at a circus. Works for me, either way. Miss Percy's Pocket Guide to something or other. It's a very long title. That's it. Miss Percy's Pocket Guide to the Care and Feeding of British Dragons. I don't feel like I need to explain why I want to read that one. Then I want to read Hobbity Dick, because it's ridiculous. It sounds ridiculous and it's about a hobgoblin. I'm here for it. I want to read Le Fay, which is the second one in Morgan Is My Name. That's the first one, and then Le Fay is the second one. I really enjoyed Morgan Is My Name and want to read the second one. Then Green Teeth, because it's about Jenny Greenteeth, who is a mythological, like, hag, witch, water, swamp spirit. Some combination of those words. But she's a figure in British folklore, and I'm excited to read a book about that. The Salt Grows Heavy by Cassandra Core. I own this. I have no reason not to read this now. It's been on my list for ages. It is a short horror novel. There is no reason why I can't just pick it up and enjoy it. And then finally, number 12 is Starter Villain by John Scalzi. Again, I have picked up a copy. I was kind of holding out because I love the American cover, which is the one with a cat on it. The British cover is not as interesting. And if anything, looks a bit shit and looks like it should be one of those action books for teenage boys, which I don't know if that's the vibe. If that's the vibe, I'll be disappointed. I want the vibe of the cat in the suit. That is the vibe I want this book to be. But those are my 12 books that I want to read in 2025. They're going to be like my priority list of books to get through in my digital TBR, and then the rest of the digital TBR I will probably write out and tick off as I go along, just for my own amusement and enjoyment, and we'll go from there. And I think that's okay. Thank you for sticking with me through this very long video. What books are you looking forward to reading in 2025? What is at the top of your list? What have you been putting off forever and ever and ever? Let me know in the comments. I want to see if I've read it or if they should be on my radar. If you would like to support this channel, please like or subscribe, or both or neither. Do whatever you like. I also have my Patreon link down below. If you want to support me there is a tip jar option. If you just want to donate one off and then delete the subscription, that is absolutely okay by me. I appreciate any support you want to give me, and that makes me very excited if you do. If not, have a lovely day, and I will see you in the next video.